Shalom, Shalom, and welcome. This is Yasharal's Court, an end time series presenting sequential information that is critical towards the building up of the body of one in Yahushua Messiah. It is a message to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Creator and Father. Yahuwah is his name, and who have come to accept Yahushua as Messiah, as our Mashiach. It is a message to true Yasharal, commonly known as Israel. It is a message to those who are brought together, both Hebrew and Gentiles, both Abari and Goyim, other nations, made one in Yahushua Messiah. These words are to you, my brothers and sisters. This is Yasharal's Court. It is a series of messages where we will realize that our decisions are indeed on trial, that you will judge, that there will be set apart justice, that the structuring of a nation has begun in our refinement. This is part 2 of the second installment entitled Language and Communication. This is part 2 of that segment. With that said, consider when the enemy told Eve or Hawa things in part to deceive and cause wicked delusions to enter into the life of her and Adam. In other words, the enemy spoke of truth in part, and it is through the part that lies in deception and delusion came. Consider when the wicked one tried to tempt Yahushua with providing scriptures in part. This has been one of the evil one's biggest strategies, is to attack our language and communication by presenting things in part, by causing us to not be patient or have the fortitude to examine thoroughly the things that we say and or receive from one another. Another thing that concerns me is how people come to interpret scriptures. Some even believe actual proof is found in the text alone, totally oblivious that it is the Spirit of the Most High that harden and soften hearts. It is the Spirit of the Most High that ratifies, that confirms, that informs and reinforces His living word. I'm compelled to believe that the wicked one caused the majority of us to fall for leaning on the text in or letter, or just looking at the contextual structure of scriptures alone, all by themselves, without regards to depending on the living connection to the origins of any method of communication. I believe with all my heart, mind, body, and soul that we are to continue moment by moment, looking, searching, leaning on the Spirit of Yahushua to teach us, to make alive what we read and what we study, what we witness and what we see. As a result, my brothers and sisters, we have witnessed a proliferation of words and terms which have been represented mostly in different forms and less function. In other words, it's akin to one arguing over whether or not the glass is half full versus half empty, or whether the food is a tomato or a tomato, or arguing over whether a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable, unaware that the seed of the matter is something much greater. In other words, a tomato is something that is edible, period. Whether the glass is half full or half empty, there's a specific amount of water or fluids to drink. You see, my brothers and sisters, the enemy has inundated us with so many different ways of saying things that we fail to realize that even the word judge or decision are akin to one another. We expense more time over the different forms or different words, terms, which contribute widely to our language and communication, that all too often we consume and waste time trying to get someone to move to our preference of words. We fail to notice that what the Spirit of Yahushua is instructing us to do. So we continue to argue, debate, even camps and assemblies are formed, fellowships are formed, because of one's preference to words, opposed to looking at the living function and the intent in or the origin of such words. It is time for us to come to the reality of what is meant by the following verse. 2 Corinthians 3:6 says, who has also made us competent as servants of a renewed covenant, not of the letter, but of the Spirit, for the letter kills and the Spirit gives life. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the scriptures will be interpreted and made whole among the children of obedience. Division among the final gathered will end. The 144,000 will witness, along with the multitude, all division laid waste, with the exception of those who will be allowed to fulfill what is written regarding goats and or tares that's allowed to grow among us. Question: what do you believe will be the solution to the different interpretations of scriptures and or proliferation of those attempting to restore what they believe is a pure and clean lip? My answer to this question would be, I believe in spite of all the attention Bible scholars, theologians, mores, teachers, and or any other outspoken individual receive, that humbling times are coming and individuals such as these will prove to be void of hearing what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. I am compelled to believe that I have envisioned many of these so-called smart spiritual people being reproved, with some being purged from our ranks and others repenting from their wickedness. I'm compelled to believe we will witness extreme humbling times, and those who deliver answers for the now moment, for now and going forward, we will witness as the Spirit of Yahushua rise within them, proof that they are being guided. In other words, people will begin to witness those who have answers as to what must and will be done as end times become intense. Many of the theologians, scholars, those self-appointed teachers and mores who are self-appointed, it will prove that they don't have an answer because they are clueless to the living Spirit of Yahushua. Those who come to witness reproof and discipline and repent will demonstrate a new me, a new you, a new person. But there will be confusion and excuses among the so-called learned ones, the self-appointed, the delusional, the wicked, the fallen, those who stumble. The bottom line, my brothers and sisters, humbling times will weaken us mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But those who truly lean on the living orders of the Spirit of Yahushua will witness His set-apart Spirit rise up in us, among us, through us, one towards another in power. We will also witness His chosen leaders emerge, His chosen mores, His chosen teachers. We will witness His sent messengers. All this will unfold before our very eyes, my brothers and sisters. We will come to discover proof in our refinement, proof in the actions that will bring us to unity for that final exodus, proof of the structuring of a unified body of one in Yahushua Messiah. 4 questions. What do you think? Why do you think your words are true? Who gives you authority to make such claims? Do you honestly believe people will conform to what you are suggesting? When do you think these things will become clear or clearer? My answer to all 4 of these questions are as follows. First, each of us must give an account to every word spoken and the deeds in which we do. The sum of my experience, along with what I have read, have brought me to believe that the Spirit of Yahushua causes me at times and instructs me to speak and present the matters I have delivered before you and order my footsteps. Do I stumble at times? I do. Will I fall at times? I do. But I recognize the washing of the blood of the sacrificed lamb, Yahushua. I understand the power of His atonement and the regenerating force of His set-apart Spirit. Knowing Isaiah 55:11 relieves me from the fear of being responded to His words. 1 John 4:1 removes me from the hesitancy to speak, as I am compelled to believe all words should be proved, and that if the words in which I present to you are true, they will stir within your spirit. They will perform all tasks that they have been designed, for they would have not originated from me, but the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Through Yahushua Messiah, they came to me, and I presented them to you. The question of who gives you authority to make such claims, I respond by saying true authority is realized once it is confirmed and made alive by the Most High Father Yahuwah through His set-apart Spirit that He sent in Yahushua's name. So in other words, it will not be by my word saying I have the authority. It will be by the proof by their actions, by the confirmation of the Almighty Father. 3, do I honestly believe people will conform to what I'm saying? If my words are true, there will be those who will conform to these words that I speak. For like I said, any truth originates from the Most High Father, who promises discipline for those who represent the children of obedience. And the answer in response to the question, when do I think things will become clear? I am compelled to believe end times are here. And with each passing day, there are brothers and sisters awakening, each at a different pace. I further believe that our final exodus will come with structure and discipline, of which has already begun. As I stated before and countless other times, extreme humbling events are over the horizon, and we will witness a refined group who will come to be known as either martyrs for Yahushua's sake, or discover themselves to be among the ranks of the 144,000 in or part of the multitude who will come out of the great tribulation. Yes, we know some will die. We know that there will be a falling away, and there will be those removed out of obedience. There will be those who will fall in line and fit the description that Shalum mentioned, delivering one to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved. Scriptures in its entirety, in its wholeness, will prove to be true, will prove to be whole, will prove to be set apart, my brothers and sisters. Let us not kick against what is true. My brothers and sisters, if you are following this series in sequential order or sequence, you should be able to discern that we must first possess a position of belief. And once that is established, there is the need to recognize the importance of language and communication. How we speak to one another, how we communicate to one another, how we listen carefully to one another, how we demonstrate patience and discernment to be able to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying regarding our language and communication. How can we honestly build a relationship with the Almighty Father alone with one another if we are not precise in our language and communication, if we fail to demonstrate patience, perseverance, belief? How can we believe in Him and not recognize the importance of language and communication? So I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the second component, language and communication, is critical once we have established whether we love the Almighty Father, whether we will accept Yahushua as Messiah. Let us now realize the importance of language and communication. And for some, let us take note to what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. For in others who have ill intentions, then a different result awaits you. My brothers and sisters, continue to do the will of the Almighty Father. Continue to seek to do His will and discover His living orders and commands. I pray that each of us will be able to discover the strength and discernment with a ready mind, body, and soul. That each of us will come to know that we are indeed responding to the Spirit of Yahushua. Remember, my brothers and sisters, remember, O Yasharal, what you have heard. Remember your decisions, for there will be a time when we will witness our decisions akin, or should I say, as seeds, and we will reap what we have sown. In other words, the fruit of our decisions will determine our true position during end times. No one knows the amount of information that will be given in order for us to obey. None of us know the threshold of which we may indeed offend. None of us know the day in which we will take our last breath and have our last heartbeat. But I can assure you, my brothers and sisters, there will be those among us who will be alive, who will go through and participate in the final exodus, who will journey to that final destination of safety during the great tribulation. There will be those who are walking the planet among us who will witness the two witnesses of Revelation come. There will be those who will witness the anti-Christ or anti-Messiah and false prophet and mark of the beast system emerge. There will be those of us who will be alive who will fulfill scriptures in many ways, whether it be martyrs or in the ranks of those who will be gathered for the final days before the return of Yahushua Messiah. We will come to know something that we have taken for granted. We must return to realize their importance, and that is the nature of our language and communication to one another. The time will come for those pursuing righteousness to either embrace these words as true or reject them. But know this, whichever decision you make, you will reap from the choices you make. I will reap from the choices and decisions I make. We each will come to know what it means by you reap what you sow. We will also come to know the mercies and favor of the Most High, the power of his atonement, the power of his regenerating set apart spirit. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, this concludes the second installment of Yasharal's Court, which sets it as the second priority, language and communication. Pray on these matters, my brothers and sisters, for the time will come when you will see that each of us must make a decision, and that may be the final decision. That may be a life or death decision during these end times. Will you be left behind, or will you be among the ranks of those gathered into unity and structured through the living guidance of Yahushua Messiah? Soon and very soon, these answers will emerge. Until next time, stay tuned as our refinement continues, as I believe the Spirit of Yahushua is moving across the lands, refining and structuring Yasharal, demonstrating the structuring of a nation. His set-apart justice will indeed prove to be visible. This has been the second installment of Language and Communication. You are listening again to Yasharal's Court, the second installment. Stay tuned as we continue in this series, my brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom, shalom.